hey, come over here, sit down, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret, a little piece of advice from some goofy guy in his mid 20s. Like, the advice is men and women only spaces are fine, Again, despite what your ideology want to dispose on top of you. Like a space where there are just men that act like men, and the space where there are women that act like women. Like these spaces should exist, and they're okay. This thing of freedom of association, you know, uh, transcends the genders. It transcends, a hobby, transcends your nationality. You should be able to associate with the people that you want. But you have this odd situation where people impose themselves in a space. The space has always existed, but then you have people with a ideological bent trying to impose themselves. Like they enter this space, they impose themselves, and they demand the space itself changes to fit their morality, their like make them feel better. And it's an idea that no matter how you spin it, right, it's just idiotic. It's like, people existed, the space has always existed, right? So, for example, gaming. Gaming has always been a male dominated space, with the 16-year-old dudes talking about all the sex positions they're going to put their mother. And look, that's fine. That's okay. That should exist. But I guess you have this ideology that demands, these spaces are inherently bad, they're inherently toxic, and they should not exist. I mean, again, men being toxic in a controlled environment is fine. Like, you have, the 50-year-old man screaming goal at a fucking football game. And I never understood. I thought watching soccer, watching football was boring, but I understand the appeal, but it's like, that's, and then they get legitimately mad when, say, their team loses, or when there's a bad call, or when like someone clearly has a foul but no one calls it. They get mad, they get toxic, and again, that is 100% fine. It's in a enclosed environment, right? It's what people do in the sanctity of their own fucking home. But again, we're going to talk about this young mademoiselle, and again, she has entered the space. This space that has always existed, that has always thrived, which is gaming, which is a male-dominated space, and she's going to, I guess, tell you that the space itself needs to change to accommodate her.
She wouldn't last 10 minutes in a COD lobby is not, nor has it ever been, a valid excuse for men to act like pieces of human garbage in gaming. I shouldn't have to play a game for all I say is hi and the whole game is thrown and I'm in hell for the next 40 minutes because men are being emotionally well. That is not normal and that's not how the old COD days were because I
No, I think that is. I guess the old COD days didn't have like, safety council. It didn't have the army of moderators and like pretty much your mom that will ban you for even looking at someone wrong. Again, in a game where your face isn't even shown. Like the old COD days were literally the Wild West, and especially on Xbox, because Xbox 360 had a party chat way before the PlayStation 3. I think it was towards the end of PlayStation 3 where they actually had like a party chat. But before the party chat, they had in-game chat, and people would shit on each other in lobbies. Same thing for Halo. So again, this idea that it didn't used to be like this. It's like, yeah, it kind of did. Maybe you've associated with people, or maybe you hammered the fucking mute button, which is an option, right? If people are pissing you off, if you don't want to hear the schizophrenia in your mic, you can just press the fucking mute button. You can take the pills, and all of a sudden, yeah, the voices go away.
Promise you, as a man, you have never had somebody grow on the basis of your gender.
I mean, I guess it's not particularly the basis of like gender, except again, people who believe that men are just defective women and should be treated like such. But again, people get roasted on every basis: their sexuality, their ideology, you know, ethnic relations. Even if you talk like a fucking gay man, like on the mic, I sound like a very flamboyant dude, and I'd get fucking roasted for it, right? And again, it's also if you were either good or bad at the game, you would also get trash talk. So okay, maybe again, being female is just a very tiny part of the long list people will roast you on. It's just for some reason she thinks the what's between your legs predispose any other way you can insult someone, especially on a game where you cannot see the face of the other person, right? But you really got to get under their skin, right? You'll grasp at straws and just shit on whatever you can find. I mean,
That doesn't happen. You can say it happens. You're lying. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's such a common thing in the comments of my videos. You guys want to be oppressed so bad that you'll look at a man telling me he's gonna tell me to get back in the kitchen and say it's not a woman thing, and say that that happens to you too. It doesn't.
I mean, again, it does. It's not on the basis of what's between your legs or what you identify as. It's on the basis of other categories. Again, if people that just want to get under your skin will just use whatever tactic they can. And again, like even if they're not trying to, this is just how guys communicate. Like we will talk smack, we will roast, and this is completely fine.
There's a reason.
It's fine as long as someone doesn't spurg out. Someone doesn't act like some dude doesn't act like a 12-year-old girl and decide, oh, I'm gonna decide to just spurg the fuck out and take it seriously. And then that guy's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just not gonna hang around him because he's fucking weird.
That historically, male-dominated spaces are known for being toxic and unsafe. That goes for gaming.
I need to stop pausing every 5 seconds. It's a 2-minute video. Unsafe. So do you genuinely believe that Pussy Slayer 779, when he says he's gonna rape your mother, you genuinely believe it in your heart of heart and in your soul that Pussy Slayer 779 is gonna maybe even cross the damn ocean, because you don't know where the fuck he is, right? He could be anyone. Cross the damn ocean, come to your house and fuck your mother? I mean,
That goes for sport versus any male-dominated space is a battle. That's not being sexist, but if you think there is an inherent issue with the way that you guys handle locker room talk,
no, it's just you being ideologically, you know, conditioned to think one way. Again, men being toxic in these spaces in a controlled environment is fine. It's just how guys communicate. And again, you need to be toxic back, and then the connection is there. Again, I understand some people will take it too far, right? I understand some guys aren't, prepared to take this, but again, it's something that will happen, and you need to understand that. Oh well, I guess now I can be toxic back and it be 100% fine, unless you go overboard, which will happen. But again, it's one of those things where this is just basic human interaction between the male species of human being. Am I doing it right? See, because they like to pretend men and women are two completely different tribes of humans that are just incapable of understanding each other, which is false. But whatever. But it's the fact that they impose this on everybody else. Not only do they impose their inability to communicate with other people on everybody else, they act on it.
That makes everybody else feel unsafe. I don't know how you could possibly find it fun to make other people feel unsafe. No woman is asking men to make gaming a safe space with sunshine and rainbows and everything that we think would be normal. Because I want to be able to enjoy playing the game without my life being threatened, without my body being threatened, because I'm existing as a human. And men are the ones that make things unsafe. And I do not care if you feel targeted by these same men or if you feel attacked by these same men. You are part of the problem. If you feel attacked by that, you're part of the problem.
Okay, and again, this idea that, okay, because I have a cock, and the guy doing these things to her also has a cock, that's for some reason I need to take responsibility for what he says again on an like on a game chat where you don't even know where or who the fuck he is. Oh, because he has a cock, all cock wielders must take responsibility. It's like, no, people aren't going, don't, yeah, people are not just going to rush to your defense just because you feel unsafe. It is a space you, as a grown ass adult, as a, you know, a legal, free thinking adult, have decided to enter. And there are benefits, and the benefits is the community, but there are also risks. The risk that you, again, need to meet people you don't know or interact with people you don't know. And again, it's in a safe area. It's safe by definition because it's online, unless there's like hackers or people know trying to get your information. I mean, it's different if you go outside, go to the ghetto and try to interact there. It is very different than to interact with men there than, again, on a fucking Xbox Live chat or on, a Discord chat. I mean, completely different dichotomy, but it's safe just inherently because they don't know who you are and you don't know who they are. So I don't understand what do you mean feeling threatened or unsafe? Like, if you genuinely believe Pussy Slayer 779 is going to cross the ocean and fucking fuck your mother, then maybe that's a you thing?
If you say just do that, you're part of the problem. If you sit there and let them say that to your face and you don't intervene, you're part of the problem.
And again, this idea that others now, despite you being disparaging to men, that they then need to come and defend you. Why? Why are you incapable of talking smack yourself? The get good argument is, it's a whatever cop out, but, if you get good and you start talking smack to them and you start shitting back on them, again, that's just a healthy gaming environment. This idea that any negative emotion, any, like, you know, emotions such as anger, such as toxicity is inherently bad. Maybe it's a good thing. Again, as a man, you're told, yo, men gotta cry. I was like, no, men gotta be toxic. Again, in a safe environment. Like, it releases the pimped up energy. And anyone that tells you any different, again, they're ideologically possessed to tell you that. Or they're just saying what need to be said to please their friends who are probably also ideologically possessed to say so. Again, it has no substance, it has no meaning, it's just platitudes. Right? Men need to be toxic in a safe and in a controlled environment.
You add a lot on top of normal when you don't say slurs
And
or
again, this
say
idea of normal, like, okay, it's normal to be toxic. If someone's being toxic to you, it's that is normal, right? I mean, well, it's abnormal for you to just. Well, again, and again, if you don't want to hear the schizophrenia, just fucking mute them. But
people and just play like normal. I understand it, it's not normal. But if you are not one of the men doing this, it is entirely on you to help stop the men who are. power imbalances and gender hierarchy. It's not my place to teach you. I'm not your mother. I'm not your teacher. Close the game for 5 minutes and educate yourself. But stop making this a bad experience for everybody else who's just trying to play the game.
Yeah, and again, it's the idea that, oh, well, I'm not your teacher, but here, let me lecture to you how you need to be normal and how you need to act again. You, a grown ass adult who understands, on the internet, things happen, and you need to steel yourself to it. I mean, but that's wrong. That's immoral. You shouldn't do that. You should instead come to my defense when it happens to me. It's like what? What? I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say that hasn't already been said? I guess if you want to enter this space, there are things you need to learn and you need to educate yourself on. And if you can't take the toxicity, maybe you should put the controller down and educate yourself. Because again, we're talking like in America, 50% of the population. So if 50% of the population act like this, it's like it's not normal, right? I think the way you're acting is abnormal. Like you're invading a space. Well, I guess invading isn't the right word. I'm pretty sure she's an actual gamer. I'm assume, she has the goddamn
She wouldn't.
the gaming earphones and the gaming chair. Like I assume she's a gamer. But I just think, again, she's entering with this completely idiotic mindset that doesn't benefit her and it doesn't benefit the people around. Again, she doesn't want to hear any of this. She can just press the mute button. Like, I almost universally mute people when I'm playing Helldivers. Like, I don't want to hear the schizophrenia in my fucking mic. And this is when I'm playing with just randos, right? There's absolutely no reason to keep my mic on or to listen to the schizophrenia. Now, when I'm playing with the boys, obviously, we're going to communicate, but when I'm not, I just don't care. But anyway, I mean, it's odd that, again, she thinks, okay, the way all the men act when playing a video game in a safe environment, acting toxic is abnormal, even though the majority of men act this way. And she's the one coming and demanding it change. It's just very odd indeed. But anyway, see ya.